Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Raleen Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel and the region every Monday to Thursday right here, and we're going to continue right into the new year and beyond. And if you prefer to get your news updates on YouTube, hey, we've got you covered. All you have to do is search for us at the Israel Brief, click on the big red subscribe button, and every time we post a brief, you'll be notified. So let's get into those big headlines. And we spoke yesterday about the possibility of Israel going into a 3-week lockdown. Well, it has been confirmed by the health ministry and in a rare statement by both Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gantz last night that Israel will be entering a 2-week nationwide lockdown, and this is to start on Sunday at 5 p.m. And as you can imagine, there are many small businesses that are very, very unhappy with the decision, because this means that malls, it means that the shuks or the markets will have to close. And it is predicted by the Ministry of Finance that about 7,500 businesses could be direly affected by this lockdown. But in other news, which is more positive, the Health Ministry has also announced that within at least 1 to 2 weeks, Israel or the Health Ministry will be opening up vaccinations to all age groups. We have started our vaccine roll-up, which started on Sunday with the vaccinations of medical and healthcare professionals and progressed to people over the age of 60. And to date, Israel is the world leader in the amount of people who have been vaccinated so far per capita, which is a significant achievement. But in other news, and just before we go into lockdown, we will all be watching how Israel is progressing towards the elections. And I know many of you are yawning and saying, well, you know what, this is something we hear about every couple of months. And sadly, it's true. But this one's proving to be quite dramatic. Yesterday, we were alerted from the Knesset that there will be 2 major press conferences, one given by the leader of the New Right, or Hayeminah HaChadash, the Naftali Bennett, and the other by Gideon Sa'ar, who has defected from the Likud party to start his own. Sa'ar has been, or was formerly, tipped to be the natural successor to Netanyahu in that party before he decided to break out on his own. Well, needless to say, it did get off to a dramatic start with a statement from Naftali Bennett saying that he intends to challenge Prime Minister Netanyahu for the premiership in this upcoming election, saying that he wants to get Israel back to the Israel of the startup nation and the Entebbe raids. He wants to restore that glory to the state of Israel. And he was followed shortly by Gideon Sa'ar, who said to the media, he teased us by saying he will have a mystery announcement of a candidate on his ticket. And everybody was wondering, who could it be? Would it be Tzipi Livni? Would it be maybe the blue and white joining up? Well, no, this one is very, very, very controversial, because it could be a major chink in the armor of Prime Minister Netanyahu. Zev Elkin, one of Prime Minister Netanyahu's closest confidants and one of his top military and political strategists, has moved from the Likud and is now joining the New Hope Party, which has just been started by Gideon Sa'ar. And in an address to the media and to the Knesset, Elkin said that he unfortunately no longer trusts the Prime Minister, and he has said that the Likud has become a party around one person. So, very dramatic start. And just a reminder that here at Lay of the Land and at the Israel Brief, we are non-partisan. We do not endorse or support any particular party, but we are here to bring you the facts and bring you the analysis and what has been said in the Knesset. And our final story takes us to the US. And is this an early present for Israel? U.S. Border and Customs officials announced yesterday that the policy shift stating that goods that come from the West Bank have to now be labeled goods made in Israel has now come into effect. And this was a policy announced by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo just last month in his last visit to the region before the handover to the Biden administration. So if you are buying wines that previously came from the West Bank, there will now be wines made in Israel. So those are the top stories making headlines today. We know that there are many of you who will be celebrating Christmas, and all of us would like to wish you and your loved ones, or anybody who is celebrating, a very Merry Christmas. We hope that it is a blessed one for all of you and your families. And don't forget, if you are heading into lockdown like we are here in Israel and you want some reading material, don't look any further than Lay of the Land, because we've got you covered. Anything you want to know, Startup Nation, ecology, politics, culture, history, everything, it's all on our website, and you can check it out at www.layoftheland.online. We're also on Facebook, and you can find us at Lottle Site. And give us a like or a follow if you haven't already done so. We know that many of you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. The more of you, the merrier, because we get more and more of a higher profile on YouTube, so it really helps if you subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Sometimes we like to give the other people a little bit of a zing, and you can follow us at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. So from me, Rolene, and the team at the Israel Brief and Lay of the Land, we would like to wish you a peaceful, a safe, and a healthy weekend. Shabbat Shalom, and we'll catch you again next week.